Okay, good morning, and welcome to our Reiki and massage session this morning. Um, if anyone who's here on Zoom doesn't want to be on camera at all, you just turn your camera off. And I'll just be, guiding you along on what to do massage-wise while we go. Okay, so I'm just going to mute everybody and start the music, and we'll get going. Right. So let's start by, for one thing, sit in any comfortable position you want. But easy pose is great, cross-legged. And let's start by getting a little movement going in our spine. So I start just about every class like this. I love this move. And actually, even when I'm working on people, and I feel like the energy just needs a little extra help moving, I just do something like this with my own body, and then it helps to move the energy. And I'll put the music on for us. So we usually start the stomach circles counterclockwise, and then you can switch and go the other direction. If you did it the other way, don't worry about it. Just switch. And I think most of you know me, but I will be yawning throughout. That's another way my body seems to respond when energy is moving. And it's a good thing, actually. So if any of you are yawning along with me, then that's good. Okay, and I'm Andrea Willoughby, if you don't know me. I've been doing this kind of healing work for over 20 years. So it's kind of become automatic for me. When I tune in with other people, in person, on Zoom, on the phone, it doesn't matter, I'm able to help them move their energy as a Reiki practitioner and a best practitioner. So just by tuning in now, we start to get the energy settled, moving, flowing. Relaxation can begin to come in. And I would like you to think about something that you might want to release, something going on in your life, and that you're aware of, you would prefer it not to be happening. And I'll tell you, the thing I've been working on lately is anger. That has come up for me in my life, to the point where I recognize it and I must be open because it's releasing. I won't go into all the ways how and why and all that, but I'm open to it. And that's what I want for my clients, is to find a way to be open to what's coming up for you. How is it showing up in your life? And I hear from a lot of my clients that they feel anger too. And it's not surprising that it comes up like this in the summer, especially because it's hot outside, and heat does pertain to anger. So the more heat we have in our body, the more anger we probably have in our body. Okay, so come back to center now. And I love starting with the feet. The feet are huge, huge. And so we want to just tune in and say, take your right foot, however you're sitting, however you can access it. You can have socks on, it doesn't matter. But just start to feel around, like I've just got my foot in my hand, both sides coming at it. My thumbs are kind of together on the bottom. That's always a good way to start. So your thumbs are coming, toward each other and kind of overlapping a little bit. And then just find some spots along that inner edge of the foot, which actually pertains to the spine. And you'll probably find some sore spots in there. And if your thumbs can handle it, you can dig in a little bit and go up and down that line from kind of toe to heel. If you find a sore spot, zero in on it with one thumb or the other, or even both. Most people have some soreness, right? Kind of near the middle of the arch, but still on the edge. And that often has to do with the adrenal glands. They're terribly overworked. So heat does rise in the summer. The earth has been collecting heat. It's drier than it was, a few months ago. The earth has dried out more. We have dried out more. And we're not even done with the hot weather yet. And guess what? We are right. I gotta look at the date. We're just a couple days past one of the most challenging transitions of the year, from the hot weather to the hot season to the cold season. So it's like mid-August, we start to feel it. Some of us who are more highly sensitive and tuned in to our bodies, whether we want to or not, our bodies make it known. And that transition to the colder season, just like the trees know it's happening, the plants know it's happening, we're in the same boat. It's happening for us. We're making the transition. And if we're not careful, I guess, with our practices, we can feel it more than we have to. So let's switch to the other foot. Do the same thing on the other foot. Take a deep breath. Anytime I say something or you remember something that feels reactive to you, take a breath. Take a deep breath into your belly. Because on the exhale of that breath will go some of that stress related to that reactive thought. So the few other things that can happen in this transition from summer to fall, and this is really knowledge according to Ayurveda. Dizziness for some people might come up. Vertigo, constipation because of the dryness. I just heard yesterday my dad has had that problem for 3 or 4 days. Will he take the triphala as recommended by Ayurveda? I don't know. But if anybody does have that issue, I have some herbs that are really good for moving the bowels. Anxiety comes up at this time of year. Again, because of dryness and because we're moving into the colder season. Even though it'll take a month or 2 or more even to feel like we're in winter. Depends on where you live, right? Those changes can start to show up now. And It doesn't mean it's going to be like horrible and constipated or dizzy or anxious, you know, for a long time. You can just notice, oh, it's happening. What do I need to do? And I have a number of things I can recommend. But the one I'd like to highlight right now, which would be good for irritability, which is another, and anger, which is another thing that comes up along with this transition, is called Abhyanga massage. So we're not doing that today, but you can do it. It just means that you add oil to this practice of self-massage, and there's some specifics to go along with it, but the very basics of it are that you would use, say, coconut oil right now because it's still pretty hot outside and coconut oil is cooling, but you can use that all over your body while you do the massage. When we get to, say, mid-September to later in the season, you can switch it to sesame oil and coconut oil combined. And then when we get to actual winter, it's definitely all sesame because it's warming. And just the biggest key about Ayurvedic massage, Abhyanga massage, is that you massage toward the torso, so on your extremities, like on this part. So go ahead and stretch one leg out and just imagine that you were going to somehow try to move everything toward the torso. So right now I'm just using the back of my knuckles and just dragging them toward the knees, or you could use the fingers. And again, this would be so much better with oil, right? But when you get to the knees or any joints, it's circular. So you get to your knee and you do more of a circular thing. And then another long bone, the thigh, and you bring the energy, say the fluids, moving toward the torso. And then let's stick the other leg out and do that same thing. And as you do this, if you find a sore spot, stay there, stay there and dig it out. Like I can feel on my outer shin bone, pretty sore. So this practice of Abhyanga massage that we're not quite doing, but I'm explaining, is going to help lubricate your whole body. I swear it feels like a spa treatment when you're done. Now do the circular motion on the joint. Could be both sides, the back of the knee and the top of the knee. And then do the upper leg toward the hips. And of course, you can get this done for you. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a self-massage. And it's even better, right, when you're not doing it yourself. But let's move to the hands. And I want you to think about like folding your fingers backward on one hand and then the other. And you should feel this probably in your forearm as you gently pull those fingers back. And don't forget the thumb. So do a little something with the thumb. So I usually grab it and then think of it as a ball or like a clock, and that you want to hit every number on the clock. Maybe not every time, but just remember that there's so many angles here, and you never know which one it is until you try it, which one you need to have released. and do the same thing on the other hand. And then bring up the long bone of the forearm. Bring your hands up this way and this way. And just a little bit going on with your elbows. Grab both elbows. Do a little circular motion. Okay, and then here at this part, I'd say in the upper arm, you actually want to take a few moments and just dig in there. So that with Abhyanga massage, you don't always have to go this way every single thing you do. You can stop, like I said before, and just really find what you need. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about anger. It surprises us once in a while, doesn't it? It can kind of catch you off guard. And while that is disturbing, it can be disturbing, especially if you find that you've exploded on yourself or somebody else with it. Then there's usually guilt or something that comes along with it afterwards. Shame or embarrassment. And actually, by the way, now just do some kind of movement. Like I love this bird movement, bird wings. You could do it in front of you, more like, I think of this as sort of like a belly dancer thing. But just see what you're doing. You're actually working in your field, because we're not just the body, we have our own personal energy field. And so if we can wave our arms about in a organic, gentle, smooth, good moving way, we can move some of that energy that's hanging around in our field. And energy usually gets in our field before it gets in our body. But if it's in your field and you don't take care of it, it's eventually going to show up in your body as a physical phenomenon or symptom or discomfort or an emotional one, mental or emotional. Okay, so come on up to the shoulders and think about just taking your hands, palms toward you, and hook them over your shoulders so your fingers are in back and you're sort of holding on. And just one arm at a time, raise the elbow, grab that shoulder blade in the back, and then lower the elbow and pull down on that. You end up actually pulling down on the traps at the top of the shoulders, and then just alternate. And you can do both at the same time, so raise both elbows up, take a breath, work your fingers as far down your back as possible. And as you exhale, then let the elbows come down toward the chest, holding on back there. And then now hold on with your elbows down by your chest and do a little bit of neck rolls, not all the way around the back where your head is dropping back, because that for some people could tweak something. So keep it more like toward the forward, and then maybe look up. I see your ears near one shoulder, and you can go back down, and now your other ears near the other shoulder. And this is where people carry so much energy and worry responsibility, obligations. Okay, so that's when I go into the bird move, is when I feel that energy. So just by talking about it, touching it, tuning in, letting it be okay that it's there. Accept that, yeah, sometimes we take on more responsibility than is even our job. Okay, a little more neck work here. Now, bring your hands, so face your palms away from you like this. Your elbows are bent. And now bring your hands back behind your neck. And don't interlace the fingers, but take your thumbs and find a good spot on your neck. So it could even be down closer to the bottom of the neck, and it's on the side of the neck, or it could come all the way up the side to the base of the skull. But you're using your fingers on the other side of each, hand or thumb to squeeze. So you're squeezing your neck, you're digging in with your thumbs. Let's see, if you can't do thumbs, because some people really have tender thumbs, then I would say, let's see, what would I do? I would do fingers. So I would just kind of go along that same line, up and down the side of the neck, and try to find your sore spot or two. And if you do find it, stay there and rub it and let your head move a little bit and breathe. Don't forget to breathe. So if we hold our breath, that puts our body into fight or flight and we tense up. So that's the opposite of what we're going for here. But doesn't it just feel so good? So again, you could go back to thumbs or do fingers and just going up and down and finding different, so you don't have to stick right to the sides of the neck. You can also go, you can take your fingers on one hand like this, like the little claws, and go to the other side, but come closer to the actual neck bones. So you're not just coming right down the side. You're right next to the neck bone or cervical vertebrae, up and down. Okay, and relax that. Now notice if anything feels, like right now I feel itchy back here for some reason. But anytime I feel itchy, I rub it. And I'll scratch it, I rub it. Because the itchiness is usually from energy that's still trying to get out. And again, that's kind of, itchiness is related to heat. And depending on your body type, you could have a lot of heat, just naturally as your body type. Do you run hot? Do you run cold? Do you run hot and cold? That's what happens to me. I'm really cold. I hate the cold. And I do a little better in the heat, but not too hot. 72 is really good for me. So that means I've got a lot of heat in my body and I have a lot of cold, and that's constitutional. That's not going to change. That just means I have to try a little harder to stay balanced. Let me change that. And that's probably not far from what some of you experience either. Okay, so I don't want to forget to do the belly. The belly is really important. And actually, this is where we hold a lot of the anger, the heat, is in this power center, our third chakra. And I did bring a few bowls in. I'm just going to hit that for the third chakra. that was loud. I think I hit that wrong. So this is kind of calling up the energy of the third chakra. If you want to lay down and do your belly, or lay back and recline, I'll just do mine sitting up, and I'll tell you what I do sitting up. Actually, right now I'm just starting by like just grabbing the skin. Just like take handfuls of the skin. And don't do much with it, just sort of squeeze it or crunch it. Don't be hard on yourself. Like you don't have to do it really hard, but we want to kind of roll your skin around between your fingers. We carry energy everywhere in our body, and it's energy that really isn't necessarily ours. And this anger energy that we may feel could be ancestral. So now I'm just holding on, and I'm going to do a little bit of the stomach circles. If you're laying down, just keep moving your hands around, looking for skin that you can grab. And this can go all the way down to below the belly button, that area, second chakra as well. And we'll probably go like another 5 minutes, even though it's almost 10 o'clock right now. If you have to leave, I understand. But I do want to spend a few moments with the stomach. Okay, so then find your belly button and make a circle around it by pushing in, massaging around, move, and then push in, massage, in a circular motion around your belly button. And you might really feel some soreness in there. So if you find a spot, stick with it. Or do like me, I'm just like, okay, now I feel like moving myself instead of my hands. So I'm holding the tissues, and by moving myself in those stomach circles again, that's another way to massage yourself. And think of the rays of the sun, and that your belly button really is sort of the sun. You want to go wider and wider around your belly button and do little massage movements. Make sure you're breathing. There's really nothing more important than having continuous breath. And if we heal something, say in our solar plexus, that's going to impact our every chakra, really. But I notice there's a big connection between the root chakra, the solar plexus, and the throat. So those are the three bowls I have right now. Okay, and now I would just invite everyone to relax in your most comfortable position. And we'll just end with a little meditation. So just being quiet, tuning in, noticing what's going on in your body. being willing to accept any emotion that comes up for you, whether it's anger or anxiety, sadness, shame. Let yourself feel it and breathe into it. If that becomes a habit for you, you're going to make daily progress toward healing. So, thinking these thoughts, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I respect myself. I respect myself. I respect myself. Bring your hands to your heart center in prayer pose. And this final thought, everything I need to heal is already inside of me. Everything I need in order to heal is already inside of me. I have everything I need in order to heal. I don't need to look outside myself. It's all within. So I want to thank you all for joining me here today. This is my regular monthly offering to my yoga and energy healing members, as we just do a little extra class of Reiki healing, in addition to the 3 live yoga classes on Zoom that I have every week. So if you're at all interested in doing more of this kind of work, where there would be more movement involved, feel free to check out that on my website under yoga. And if you have any questions, I'll stick around for a few minutes, and I just hope you have a wonderful day. You're welcome. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you.
You're welcome.